get this. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stoop Life Podcast. If today is your first time listening, I want to say welcome. My name is Bob, and I am your host. We talk a lot of sports on here. We do breakdowns, debates, conversations about top 10s, all that type of stuff. Today is the day after the biggest sporting event of the year. I know it's only February, but all of you sports fans already know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl. If you're watching this video on YouTube, if you're not, check us out on YouTube at Stoop Knockout. You see I'm wearing a Kelly Green shirt. This podcast is based out of Philadelphia. So there's a lot of people in Philadelphia right now that are sad, that are upset. And I'm kind of one of them. I'm kind of not. Because if you guys listen to what we talk about on this podcast, I'm one of those people that I think the NFL is kind of scripted, kind of rigged. Not fully. We're going to talk about that a little bit maybe, but not fully. But I thought the game was going to be scripted for the Chiefs. I thought Mahomes was going to win. I picked Mahomes in our podcast breakdown last week, and I had the Chiefs winning the game. So I'm not too surprised the fact that the Chiefs won the game. I am surprised about how the game went, though, kind of. 38-35, Kansas City taking home the title. This is a tale of two halves. Really was a tale of two halves here. In the first half, Philadelphia looked phenomenal. They looked unbeatable. They looked like the team that everybody thought they were on paper. They came out and played that. They went to halftime 24-14 Philadelphia, which we all know if you were watching that game, 24-14 Philadelphia, could have been way more. It could have been 31-7 Philadelphia. Very easily could have been that way. We started the game off with a touchdown by Jalen Hurts on an impressive drive by the Eagles where they got 2 fourth downs on that play. 2 of those fourth downs that we got, we were all in Philly going, oh my God, what the hell are you doing? Like, what is going on? Already starting. Everybody in Philadelphia was already biting their nails, was grabbing another shot, grabbing another cupcake and cookie. You know, it was stressful here in Philadelphia. Chiefs responded right away. Right away, they responded in the first quarter with the touchdown to Travis Kelce. 7-7 going into the quarter. Everybody thought it was going to be a neck-and-neck game. Now, second quarter is where it got a little different, where everyone started to think, wow, this game's going to go to Philly here. This game's looking like a Philly game. Eagles won that quarter 17-7. Could have been a lot different. There was the first big play of the game happened in the second quarter here. We had a false start on the 50-yard line by the Eagles. The referees didn't see the actual call, but every single Chiefs player on the team was pointing like, yo, like, he jumped. Every player on the D-line. Where the judge was that called the penalty did not see the jump. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a jump because it was a jump. But the referee called the flag based upon the reaction of the Chiefs, not because he actually saw it. Now, in my opinion, that's a bad call. You got the call right, but that's a bad call, and that's kind of saying, oh, we're going to lean towards the Chiefs here. But nonetheless, after that, Eagles still had the ball. And what happened? The very next play, a Jalen Hurts fumble, recovered by Bolden for a touchdown, tied the game up at 14-14 for Kansas City there. The Eagles came back. They ended up getting another touchdown and a field goal. If that turnover doesn't happen because of the flag, we're looking at an even completely different game here. Not just a 10-point lead at halftime for Philadelphia. We're looking at possibly a 20-point lead at halftime. Now, I don't know the numbers on 15-plus point leads at halftime in the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure, though, one of the team that's up 15-plus probably wins 9 out of 10 times, probably a little bit more. But we didn't get that. We got 24-14 Philadelphia, and we got a hurt Patrick Mahomes. On the final drive of the half for Kansas City, it looked like Patrick Mahomes died. It looked like he was out of the game. He came into the game with a bad ankle. He rolled out to the left. One of the Eagles players tackled him, grabbed him by his ankle, and Mahomes was in agonizing pain. He was screaming, yelling, hobbled over to the bench. He laid down. I know a lot of Phillies fans out there were like, hell yeah, Mahomes is hurt. He's done. I was thinking like, wow, I don't want to lose to Chad Henne. So Mahomes better get back in the damn game. Honestly, God, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yo, like I still think the Chiefs are going to win because, you know, they got Andy factor. They got the Mahomes poster boy factor, even though he got hurt. I was like, man, like if we really lose to Chad Henne, I'd be sick. I'd be mortified. So if my prediction actually goes right, then Mahomes better come back in. But my Eagles fan in me, obviously I have Eagles fan in me. You know, I'm rooting for the Eagles. My Eagles fan in me was saying, oh, man, they got no chance. Patrick Mahomes is hurt. He's out. No chance. If he comes back in, he's not going to roll out. It's just pocket, pressure, pressure, pressure. Second half comes out after a 35-minute spectacular show by the queen, Rihanna herself. Now, I don't know if you guys actually watched the halftime show, but for me, I don't think it was a great show. I don't think it was even honestly a good show. But she went out there pregnant and all and put on a show, put out a bunch of jams. And for all you 90s babies that remember all those jams, probably on your playlist now, my man Craig, I know you are jamming out right now. Probably Diamonds Are Forever. A couple of you, I'm saying, yo, bitch better have my money. So for those of you who actually bet the first song that she was going to play, everybody got it wrong. Everybody got it wrong. But nonetheless, Rihanna got some jams. She lets you remind yourself of who she is. Now, halftime. Let's talk a little bit about halftime here. Regular game. Halftime is 15 minutes. Super Bowl is 29 minutes and plus. It felt like it was about 39, to be honest with you. I think they ran it a little long. Patrick Mahomes went into the locker room hobbling. Came out of the locker room. Nothing. It looked fine. So I don't know what drugs they gave that man at halftime, but I'm willing to bet that they called up Brett Favre and got a prescription from him to give it to Patrick Mahomes to be like, yo, here, you're feeling better? All right, good. Because Patrick Mahomes came back out in that second half, and as we saw, he looked all right. He didn't do anything really, really spectacular throughout this game that makes you say they won because of that play by Mahomes or whatever, but he picked apart the defense. In the second half, his patience and ability to put these wide receivers and Travis Kelce, the tight end, in positions for them to succeed and get in, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Chiefs started off the first half with a Pacheco touchdown. Eagles got an Elliott field goal. It was 27-21 after the third quarter. Chiefs won that quarter 7-3. Now we got to talk about the fourth quarter. Now we all know, like, the fourth quarter, you got Patrick Mahomes in a close game. Scary. Nerve-wracking. Philly fans are really right now biting their nails and really taking a lot of shots. I know a lot of you took a lot of shots because I've seen a lot of you today. I talked to a lot of you today, and you're feeling it. Rightfully so. I ain't blaming you. I got the Philly in me. I get it. Game changer. 27-21. Philadelphia's winning. They got stopped. They go to punt. Kadarius motherfucking Toney. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. 65-yard punt return. The longest in Super Bowl history. Got the ball all the way inside the red zone. I don't know what line it was actually on. I believe it was on the 2-yard line. Game changer. Game changer right there was that punt return. That led to a touchdown by Sky Moore. Kansas City ended up taking the lead 28-27. Right there, right then was when every Phillies fan was like, fuck, we lost. Game's over. To make matters worse, Kansas City ended up scoring again. Kansas City took a lead 35-27. And we're like, oh, man. It's like 5 minutes left in the game. Everyone's like, yo, what are they doing? Like, what kind of play calling were the Eagles doing? I don't know what the hell they were doing. Eagles end up getting a 45-yard pass on the left side of the field went to Devontae Smith. There was no question this ball was a catch. It was a catch. But man, that right there had every Eagles fan jumping up and every Kansas City fan saying, God damn it. But we got time on the clock. Eagles ended up scoring on that drive, tying the game up, getting a 2-point conversion, which was absolutely phenomenal. Jalen Hurts, young fella, balled. He set an NFL record, first quarterback ever to have 3+ rushing touchdowns in a game. Only player ever. 3 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns in a game. And he had 300 yards to show for it as well. Absolutely phenomenal. Now let's talk about the end of the game. Kansas City got the ball. Under a minute left. And we got the flag that shocked the world. Now, this is where I say the NFL is scripted. You can't script every play. You can't script every touchdown. Because if they did, you would never win a single bet. That Travis Kelce touchdown prop you had would never hit because everybody's betting it, so you wouldn't hit it. So shit like that ain't scripted. But when you call certain penalties that change the outcome of the drive and change the outcome of the game, like this flag called, now we got a problem. So, 3rd down, Kansas City's rolling out. Bradbury gets called for a holding flag. Now, if you look at the play, Bradbury slightly grabs his jersey, barely. It was a tic-tac fucking play. That's not going to get called anytime. Matter of fact, for all of you people that are saying, oh, wow, like, you lost that was a penalty. 2nd quarter, go look up a play. A.J. Brown got same exact play. No call. 3rd quarter, there's a play on Kansas City. Same exact play by Darius Slay. No call for Kansas City. There was other plays in that game, one for Philly, that I saw, that were no calls on the same exact plays that these referees don't call. Now, you can go into any single game and look at a wide receiver and a D-back and zoom in and slow it up, and you'll get a holding call on every single fucking play. So why don't they call them off? They're all holding, right? You want to make it legit? You don't call it all game, but you call it at the most crucial time of the game to ruin one of the most crucial parts of the game and one of the best Super Bowls ever. Why call that? There's everybody was going off on Twitter. Even LeBron James twined in. Greg Olsen was on the broadcast himself, mortified that they called this because it ultimately ran the clock down for Kansas City to allow them to kick the field goal to win the game. Now, obviously, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm a little more hurt about this, but as a fan in general, I'm with Kurt Herbstreit. You ruined an all-time classic game by taking that. I'm with Pat McAfee. You robbed this game of a potential overtime with that call. You robbed us seeing Jalen Hurts with the ball down by 3 with less than a minute left in the Super Bowl for a chance to tie it, a chance to win it. But nah, NFL said, nope. The calculated risk of not calling that flag right there, we can't have it. Philly might end up coming down and scoring and killing this. Can't happen. Can't have it. Now, for those of you a little refresher, go back to last year's Super Bowl and tell me how that game ended. Tell me what play was called at the end of that game. The same exact fucking call. Cincinnati got robbed of it last year. Everybody remembers, but they forget now because, hey, it's a year ago. Now it happened again. And everyone said, oh, well, it's a holding call, this and that. Same people last year were saying, wow, I can't believe they gave that call to L.A. There's 5 or 6 of you that I know that are in my DMs right now that I can bring up. I'm going to call you the fuck out on that because you can't go one side or the other. It was a terrible call at the situation in which it was in. Now, I'm not saying that Philadelphia would have even came down and kicked the field goal to tie it or win the game. But they took the right out of them to even attempt it. And that's why you guys got to understand the WWE and the NFL are on the same line. They are the same organizations. Now, you got to WWE and everybody knows it's fake, but every single move they do is not rigged. Dig show slap every time. Ain't say, oh, guy, it's 16 slaps this round. What's the bet? Over or under 15? He's got to get over. You don't bet on that. That's not on there. But how it ends, the final 5 minutes of each match in a pay-per-view event of wrestling, they know what's going to happen. And that's how you have to understand why the NFL is rigged. These referees step in at the right time, right place. Now, I want to get a little bit further here. How about that field? I understand this field affected both teams drastically, but let's be honest. Who did this shitty field affect more? They put more paint on it than fucking Madonna wears at a concert on this fucking field. You could put a Kiss concert out there and there was less paint at a Kiss concert than there was on the field. The field sucks in general to begin with. And then they add to it. Now, this is what my point I'm going to bring up here. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at 70 sacks, most ever since the 1985 Bears. We had the Kansas City Chiefs at 55 sacks this year, second most in the NFL this year. And somehow, there was only 2 total sacks, both by the Chiefs, and both that the sacks that the Chiefs got weren't from a pass rush. The Chiefs had 2 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss. Both of them were on runs. That's it. They didn't pressure Jalen Hurts either. And then the best sack team, the best pressure line of all time, the Philadelphia Eagles, 0 sacks. 0 tackles for a loss. 1 quarterback pressure. How the hell does that happen? Like I said, it affected both teams. But let's sit here and ask ourselves this question. When it comes to this Super Bowl matchup, which team relies more on the pass rush? Nobody relies more on the pass rush in the NFL than the Philadelphia Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs don't really rely on the pass rush. They rely on containing. So their pass rush isn't really that matter. They're kind of in zone, stop the run. They don't have to pass rush. Philadelphia, pass rush, get to the quarterback, get a throw up, especially with Patrick Mahomes. So let me ask you this. Imagine you were training for something all year. You got 2 weeks left to prepare for the final game. You spend those 2 weeks prepping for pressure. Get off the line, get to the ball. And then you get to the Super Bowl field. You go on the field about an hour and a half before everybody comes into the stadium, a couple hours before the game, and you realize, wow, fuck. We really can't do any pass rush. Imagine what's going through your head. Man, fuck, we got to throw the game plan out. Well, essentially, that is how the Philadelphia Eagles defense went. Now, I'm not saying they should have still gave up 38 points. But when you're prepping for something all year, all week, and you have 0% of a game chance that you could implement that game plan, good luck. Now, the defense coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, Gannon, he still got his interview with Arizona, but after that, I don't see him getting hired there. He got fucking torched. One reason why that defense got torched, though, not fancy numbers by Mahomes, but accurate placement of the wide receivers. Travis Kelce, 6 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. Juju Smith, 7 catches, 53 yards. That's it. That's about all they had. But every single catch that those guys had were on routes that aren't in the playbook. So the game plan that Andy Reid had on offense to attack this Philly defense was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Pacheco, 15 rushes for 76 yards and a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes on a bum ankle, 6 carries, 44 yards, 26 long. McKinnon, 4 for 34. Mahomes was 21 for 27, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns. Great game there. Great game. I'm not taking anything away from him. But that field, man, took a lot away from them Philadelphia Eagles right there. A lot away from one quarterback pressure. You got a guy like Patrick Mahomes is hobbled up. What's the thing you want to do to him? Pressure and injure. Sorry, That's the game plan. You want to injure his ankle more, hit him. You don't want to hurt him too bad, but you want to make him think about moving out of that pocket. But they didn't have the ability to do that. They didn't have the ability to do that. Now, Patrick Mahomes, phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. He's one of the best ever. First quarterback since 1999 to win the MVP in the regular season and the Super Bowl. Hasn't been done since Kurt Warner. He finally broke the curse, did it. Patrick Mahomes, third quarterback in NFL history with 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Brady, Montana. That's it. A lot of people are going to be sitting here comparing Brady and Rodgers and Mahomes. They're alike. So if we sit here and look at some of these stats that Patrick Mahomes has with Brady, at age 27, both got 2 rings, both got 2 Super Bowls. The difference is Mahomes got 5 Pro Bowls, Brady only had 2. Brady didn't have an MVP. Mahomes has 2. We got 192 touchdowns to 49 picks for Mahomes, 97 to 52 for Brady, 24,241 yards passing for Mahomes, 13,919 for Brady. Mahomes, man, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL MVP, 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 1-time Offensive Player of the Year. This guy's on his way to making history. And that's exactly what I said before this game started. We all know one of the greats right now, LeBron James. Everybody likes to compare him to Michael Jordan. But why don't a lot of people think LeBron is as good as Michael? Because he lost in championship. So you thought Mahomes is going to go 1-2 in the title game here? Nah, no chance. No chance. I'm not saying he's going to catch Brady. He got a lot to go. Got a lot to go. What, 6 more titles to go? Like 80,000 more yards passing, some shit like that. I'm not going to say he's going to catch him. But in order for him to be able to be in that talk and for people to actually want to see what he does long term, to watch him, he had to win. And he did win. I'm giving a lot of love to Kansas City Chiefs here. 38 points. Mahomes, MVP. Well, how about my man, Jalen Hurts? Where are all you guys that hated Jalen Hurts in the beginning of the year? Make sure you raise your hand where you're sitting right now. And it's probably all of you. It's all of you. Jalen Hurts can't throw. Jalen Hurts isn't a franchise quarterback. He's a waste of a pick. I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts heard everybody say that, and he went out and proved everybody wrong this year. If Jalen Hurts didn't get hurt, he would have been the MVP this year. If we actually do MVPs on who was actually the most valuable player of the game, not the winning team, Jalen Hurts would have got the MVP. 27 for 38, 304 yards, 1 touchdown. 15 carries, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a fumble, that's it. That was a turnover of the game. But that wasn't even really gut-wrenching because they scored twice after that. Hell of a game by Jalen Hurts. My man's going to get $45, $50 million a year in the offseason. It's going to be great. How about the run game for Philadelphia, though? Remember I talked about the field affecting it. The field really helped them not able to run the ball either the way they want to run the ball. Kansas City, up the gut running team. Philadelphia, seam, off the tackles. 32 carries, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, Gainwell, 7 carries, 21 yards. Bart Scott, 3 for 8. And Mr. Man himself, Mr. Missing, Mr. Contract Year, Mr. Wants $10 million a year, 3 years, $30 million, Mr. Miles Sanders, 7 carries, 16 yards. I think you just bought yourself a way out of the ticket after that game. I get he got a little bit hurt, but man, he couldn't get a grip to run on the outside, and he did not want to run up the middle. Terrible game. Terrible game. Receiving core for Philadelphia. Hands off the y'all. Real deal. A.J. Brown is that dude. 6 catches, 96 yards, touchdown. A long of 45. Devontae Smith, 7 catches, 100 yards, 45 long. Great game. Dallas Goedert, 6 for 60. A crucial 17-yard catch that they challenged and lost, which I didn't think that was a catch, honestly, but hey, I was wrong. It was a catch. Heck of a game. Heck of a game. Hassan Reddick, no tackles. Or sorry, 1 tackle for Hassan Reddick, no sacks. Man. It is what it is. It is what it is. Heck of a game. Heck of a performance by both guys. I just hate to see when the referees fuck with the outcome of the game and have it happen. But overall, guys, it was one of the best Super Bowls ever. It's got ruined by the end. So take away the end, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. If you think about it, Game of Thrones is probably the best show ever. Last season sucked. Ruined the show. I was at the Super Bowl. Best game Super Bowl ever. Flag at the end. Ruined the Super Bowl. But hats off to the Chiefs. Hell of a win. They ain't going nowhere with Patrick Mahomes. And they ain't going anywhere. So someone asked me earlier, what team do I think is more likely to get back to the Super Bowl? And it's a tough question. It's a tough question because you got Patrick Mahomes on one side. That wide receiver core they need to revamp it. I think they got something real great in Pacheco in that running game. They got a couple free agents on defense. It's nothing crazy. I know Frank Clark, Bolden signed, Jones is signed. Should be good. But as for the Eagles, they got Jalen Hurts in there. Offensive lines in there. But they got a lot of free agents on defense. You got Bradbury's a free agent. Gardner Johnson's a free agent. Fletcher Cox is a free agent. Brandon Graham's a free agent. Ndamukong Suh, free agent again. Kaiser White, free agent. And then Miles Sanders is a free agent. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're going to make some moves. I think they're going to sign back Jaquil Hargrove. I think they're going to sign back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think Bradbury's going to price himself out, even though he kind of is the reason they lost the Super Bowl. So, hey, maybe not. Maybe he'll be back. So, just looking at these rosters and how they're probably going to be next year, I'd say more likely to get back to the Super Bowl would be the Philadelphia Eagles. Just based on the style that they play, their actual overall, balance of the team around the quarterback, not just the quarterback. But, hey, Patrick Mahomes is there. Don't ever count him out. As long as he's in this league, active and healthy, he could be in this league. He could be in the Super Bowl. So, I don't know. I think Philadelphia would be more likely to get back. But I'm sure the Chiefs will probably be favored. They'll probably be favored. They got about the same team. They're probably going to add somebody. But if I was betting, I'd bet more on Philly simply because fan base travels, man. Fan base travels, too. A lot of people hate the Philadelphia fan base, but NFL likes making money. So, I think might be Philadelphia to get back. Maybe we'll see them against Joey B. I don't know. We'll see. So, that's my breakdown of the podcast, guys, of the game. That's how I saw the game. A little sad here as a Philly fan, but, hey, it is what it is. So, if you guys want to get into my betting, the bets that I make, the plays that I make, we do some of them on the podcast, but we just started a Patreon page. It's on our links on all of our bios, and I posted a lot of picks. So I posted picks from the coin toss to the MVP and everything in between. I posted a total of 36 picks, and I hit 19 of them. Now, some of those were kind of the same combinations of it, like combo touchdown score or MVP, something like that. I highlighted 23. I highlighted 23 of them. So the 23 that I highlighted were picks that I was like, yo, I'm making. I like them. These are winners. Out of those 23, I hit 18 of them. We had the coin toss at tails. We had the anthem at over. All of them hit. We lost our Gatorade, though. We had the Gatorade at green, yellow. I thought it was kind of a mixture color because it's yellow. It's lime. I thought it was kind of a mixture of green and red. Kind of made it yellowish. Thought that was kind of an equal one, considering the fact that I didn't really know who was going to win. Anytime touchdowns, though, we hit all 3 of our highlights. We had Kelsey, Hurts, and A.J. Brown. hit all three of them. Thankfully, because anybody else we would have picked, Pacheco would have been on there. I didn't pick him, though. Paulie, my co-host, did. So he would have hit. We also hit one that had first touchdown to be one or the other of Hurts and Kelsey, and it was Hurts. So we won on that. We had a plus 700 bet on here that was both teams to get a rushing touchdown and passing touchdown. That hit. We had Pacheco was my lock of the day on the podcast. We had him over 48.5. That hit. We had him at 60 plus. That hit. And then we had him long run of the day over 13.5. That hit as well. That was my lock play of the day because the odds were plus, and I thought Eagles always give up somebody that lets the field open. They give up a 20, 25-yard run every game, and it was 24. We had Travis Kelsey over 79.5 yards and 25 plus per half. They both hit, but I had his receptions at 7.5 over. It went under. He didn't get that. A.J. Brown, we had him over 72.5. That hit. I had him over 90 plus. That hit. But I had him under 5.5. He had 6 receptions. That didn't hit. And then we had Devontae Smith. Over 5.5 receptions. That hit. By 6. And then one we had Watkins. Quez Watkins, long of 7.5. That did not hit. Actually, let me see here. I don't think that hit. Actually, that did hit. Wow. So Quez Watkins, 7.5. He got it for 8. Money. That won. So we got to actually make it 19 for 23 and 22 for 36. Because that hit. I didn't even check my FanDuel account yet. So I forgot that even hit. And then we had double MVP highlighted. We had Mahomes if the Chiefs won and Hurts if the Eagles won. So technically they're kind of the same. You're betting whichever team you think's going to win, and that hit as well. So we're at like 19, 20 for 23 on those picks. It's only $3 to join. I do every single UFC event. I'm going to hit you guys up with college basketball. I'm going to hit you with NBA parlays of the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to put them on there. And then any other main event coming up, golf. Hell, we're going to be betting golf. That's coming up. We're going to put that on there. NBA playoffs coming up, NHL playoffs coming up. I'm not really good at NHL, so I'll probably stay away from that, but they're all going to be up there. Check the link in our bio at Instagram, right here, at the Stoop Life, at _Stoop Life. Link in the bio on there. If you go to the Patreon page, patreon.com/the-Stoop Life, we're on there. So check that out. Get our picks. Get your wins. Congratulations to the Chiefs holding up that Lombardi. Congratulations to Mahomes, MVP, Andy Reid getting his second Super Bowl. Always fucking Philadelphia, man. I'll tell you, Andy Reid always fucking Philadelphia. He's now 4-0 against us. He took a Super Bowl from us. But hell of a game. I'm tired now. I need to go take a nap. But y'all enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Reach out to us on our Facebook at the Stoop Life group. Link to it is in the Instagram. So everything, Instagram. Follow that. You can check us there. And it'll be up there. So check us there. It'll be on there. And catch y'all later. Have a good night. Thanks for listening.